Alright guys, this video is going to be covering the pick'ems for the Legend stage of the Paris 2023 Major. If we go on to it in here, you can see that we successfully placed our picks for the Challenger stage. Obviously we made a video about this, and the only thing that changed from the video is, on the video I had Apex initially in the last slot over Monty. Last minute, when you could still make the changes, when Monty were up against Fears, I changed it to Monty. Thankfully, both teams went through anyway. So, you know, we were good. We got 6 out of the 9 needed. Obviously, we only need 9 to get through. We had NIP let us down on the 3-0, but that was kind of like a hit and miss one. Mouse were the huge upset, and then Fours not getting through was a surprise. But we got what we needed, which means we can now go over to the Legend stage. And in case you didn't see the first video for the Challenger stage, I'll explain it for the Legend stage here. Commonly what you want to do, and you can see why in the Challenger stage. Coming into the event, NIP weren't like guaranteed to get through by any means. They were looking very shaky. It was unknown. So I prioritized my picks at the bottom for teams that I thought were definitely going to get through. The 0-3, obviously you just go for whoever you think the worst team is that's going to go 0-3. But the 3-0, you don't typically pick the team that is most likely to go 3-0, because all it takes is them getting upset by one map, and all of a sudden they're not there. Like Fias, for example. Some people put Fias through at 3-0, but they went through 3-1. But if you had them in the 3-0, you completely lose their advancement slot. So that's why you'll see some people do that. For Legend stage, despite people thinking Na'Vi are going to blitz through 3-0, which they could very well do, we're going to put it smarter, and we're still going to put the 7 teams that have the highest chance of going through into the bottom slot. But the main thing I want to talk about first, because this could shake things up massively, is the matches. And I'll put a screenshot now in the middle of the screen, just so you guys can see them. Na'Vi played Gamer Legion, 9 played Liquid, Furia played Monty, Fnatic played NIP, Heroic played Fias, Into the Breach played Apex, Vitality played G2, and BNE played Ints. The 3 big matches there for me are Heroic and Fias, Vitality and G2, and we'll start with them first. That's 4 teams out of the 5 that were like expected to go and win this event. They're playing each other in a best of 1 to kick things off. The 2 of the favourites to win are going to be 0-1 on Legend stage, and that immediately shakes up how that like 0-1 bracket looks. Then Into the Breach and Apex getting against each other is 2 tier 2 teams. One of them is going to go to 1-0 in the best of 1. So the seeding is going to cause a little bit of a shuffle, but I'll not take any longer, guys. We're going to look at my options now. So like I said, we're picking the 7 teams I think have the highest chance of going through for our teams. So Na'Vi is going to be an obvious one because they're looking super good. Ints I'm also putting through. Obviously they just went 3-0. They're looking really strong. Snappy's calling combined with Nerds and some Pious. I called it in the video. I had a good feeling about it, and they carried it through. Now, we mentioned the favourites for the event. G2 were one of the favourites. Heroic were one of the favourites. Vitality were one of the favourites. And Fias were one of the favourites. Obviously, as I said, Fias and Heroic play each other. Vitality, G2 play each other. So, out of our 4 picks here in the middle, this G2 to Fias, 2 of those teams are going to start 0-1. And it's a little bit risky, but we got to see it with Liquid, and I can't remember the other team that went 0-2 and made it through from the Challenger stage. But you can go 0-2 and make it through with best of 3s. You can go 0-1 and turn around and go 3-1. It's one of those things. So I have a lot of faith that regardless of who loses the opening series, they'll still advance. My last advancement slot is the one that gets a little bit tricky. Now, I am fully confident that Into the Breach get through, but I'm going to put them as my 3-0 in like an absolute... Why is it not formatted properly? Come on. Everyone else is formatted properly. The Into the Breach logo's like sideways on the thing. Valve, fix it. I'm putting Into the Breach at 3-0. Similar to my NIP last time. Like I thought NIP had a chance of getting through. I think Into the Breach have a chance of getting through. I really want them to get through. But I want to put them in that 3-0. Just in case. There's best of 1s. You have to keep in mind, this Into the Breach team in the RMRs pushed Na'Vi on Inferno best of 1. I think it was a triple overtime. And yes, they lost in triple overtime, but they pushed Na'Vi all the way there. They kick things off against Apex here, another tier 2 team. There's a good chance they go 1-0. I know Apex look good in challenges. There's a chance Into the Breach go 1-0. Then, depending on seeding, like they could get a blessed second game, and then it's 1 best of 3 away. So I'm putting them there. They're my 3-0. And that leaves our final advancement slot on our team that goes 0-3. Now, 9, despite them having a shaky Rio, I think they're still looking good coming into this. Furia, I'm not sold on. Their playstyle's iffy. Bad News Eagles are like notorious for being this team that like gets this far and then just sort of crumble. Apex, like we're saying, have been good. NIP made it through, and then Gamer Legion, Liquid, and Monty. We're going to take a little bit of a risk with the picks now, because I would like to say these 6 teams make it through. Like, if I get maybe one upset happens, I think those teams make it through. I think I'm going to put 9 through as my final team. I know they weren't great at Rio. They looked really strong in the RMRs. We know they're strong in Swiss stage. They played Liquid first, who obviously made the comeback from 0-2 to 3-2, but I feel like they have enough to beat them in the best of one. My 0-3 then has to be Furia, Fnatic, B&E, Apex, NIP Monty, Liquid, or Gamer Legion. I was torn between doing Monty and Gamer Legion, and I'm going to go with Gamer Legion for the 0-3. And it's not because I think they're the worst team there, but I'm just looking at how the seeds are. I'll try and get a screenshot of this as well so you can see. Gamer Legion are the lowest seeded team here, and that's why they're playing Navi as the highest seeded team. But you have to keep in mind that someone between G2, or two teams between G2, Heroic, Vitality, and FaZe are going to end up in the loser bracket. So we're locking this in as our pick'ems. And the big risk you guys might be looking at here is the fact to put into the Breach 3, but I'm just, for the UK, I'm putting a lot of faith in the UK guys for this. Into my 3-0, I think they'll get through. And then my general advancement are Navi, Ins, G2, Heroic, Vitality, FaZe, and 9. And then Gamer Legion as my 0-3. And like I said in the challenge video, this is subject to change. And if it does, I will pin a comment. I'll pin a comment down below for you guys to see. The only things I would consider changing at this point is my 0-3 for Gamer Legion and possibly 9 in at the final slot. Like maybe I want to make that Fnatic or NIP. But I feel like one team's going to need a big storyline run there. And I think 9 just have enough to make it happen. So guys, that's going to be my Legend Stage pick'ems. You let me know what you think of them down below in the comments. Please let me know what your pick'ems are as well. It's really interesting to see the different picks that people have. And we also have a Discord, which is linked in the description. We have a section dedicated to chatting about the event and also the fantasy, the HLTV fantasy for the event as well. So more than welcome to join the Discord, join the community, and get involved in those sort of conversations. I'm going to update my picks now. We've locked them into the Breach 3-0. You heard it here first. At least I think you heard it here first. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you're around here. This is a double upload today. The inventory video will be linked down below. Go check it out. Catch you in tomorrow's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.